What's up guys, we're gonna brobeatz. Today I'm gonna be showing you one thing you should be focusing on when making melodies. If you do end up enjoying the video, make sure you hit that sub button and turn the post notifications on so you don't miss a video. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we have just a bell here, just a simple bell, just so it's easier to hear. I'm gonna just default to my F sharp minor just because it's my favorite scale to use. So what we're gonna be talking about is adding rhythm, okay? And that's it, adding rhythm, because I think a lot of people, what happens is when you start making melodies, everyone starts making melodies like this, right? But to make those, like, I guess quote unquote pro level melodies, you want to add a little bit more rhythm, so it can kind of be a string of a melody, right? So it can have a little bit of storytelling in it, right? One way to do that is on the grid, off the grid, right? And I'm gonna put it simply, on the grid is just pretty much every little beat here, right? So this is on the grid, right? Between this first bar, and I'll probably make it right. And then off the grid would be in between these points. So if you mix these up, you'll start to get certain rhythms, right? So, right. And then what you want to do is do this throughout the whole thing, but you want to keep it consistent. And don't worry, we'll go through and I'll actually make a melody here for you, so you'll know exactly what to do. So let's make one. We can start here, and let's start with a fifth. I'm gonna just grab one in just so it's simple. It's like that. And let's see if we can just do a simple little chord here. All right, so we're just using fifths, right? All right, and maybe we can just throw one more in. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna keep that. So this is gonna be our bass, or kind of like our chords. Now, the reason I want to do fifths is because to make like these melodies, right? All you have to do is look here. Now you can use other notes and stuff, but if you look in between these fifths, all the notes you want are here. If we pull this up, this is your melody every single time. This is your melody, right? So let's delete this, and since this can be like kind of our little octave jump, so we can go on the grid. Let's go on the grid, on the grid. Just go in between, and then we probably have. Then actually, let's take this and make a chord backwards, because if you look, the C sharp, E, and the G sharp, they're a chord. Okay, so this should sound pretty good. All right, and we can keep going, right? So you see on the grid, off the grid, off the grid, off the grid. So you can mix them up however you like. So let's do another one, right here. So I'm gonna take this, and usually with melodies, okay, usually the second half, so this will be like a perfect loop almost, right? Every 2 bars, pretty well. Usually they're 4 bars, right? But you can get away with 2 bars. Usually the second half isn't as crazy, right? To give it some space, you know, so the rapper can, you know, or singer can sing on the beat, whatever. So let's just calm it down, and maybe we can drag this beat back in. Do on the grid. Yeah, I like that. We can roll with that. All right, so now let's do this one. Let's do this one. Let's do on the grid. Let's make a chord backwards, right? Off the grid, we could do off the grid, and let's do back on the grid. Let's see what this note. Right, and one thing I didn't mention is I'm paying attention to this rhythm, right? It's kind of the same. You don't have to have it the same exactly, but the overall rhythm is similar, okay? And you don't have to pay attention to that, but it's just something that you can take note of. So over here, we could probably go up, honestly. Let's go up. Take this B, pull up an octave, and just finish this off. On the grid, off the grid, on the grid. All right, now we have a little nice melody. So now what we're gonna do is just add some variation and finish the melody off. All right, so now we're gonna add a variation, and look, everything that I'm showing you is a formula. Like, you can literally do this on any scale, anything you want to do, right? That's why it's so easy to do this, because I'm just using tricks. For example, if we want to put a top thing up here, we can just make a chord and just pull it out and just copy this rhythm over in the same exact spot. Matter of fact, I don't even think we need to put one over there. Right, so this is our new kind of melody, right? Or our top melody for the second half. So what we can do is just change some of these notes up. So I'm gonna use this B, okay, because we know B sounds good with our melody because we use it a lot. We can keep that, right? So on the grid here, you probably can't even see that. My bad. Let me see. All right, so on the grid. Well, this is off the grid, on the grid. All right, so we can go off the grid. We can flip it. We go off the grid, then on the grid, so it kind of trickles down. And then let's pull this up. Right, and if you're wondering, okay, why did I choose this note? It's because if you look over here in the beginning, the first note is A, so these are in harmony. So the C sharp and A are within a chord. Okay, that's the best way I can explain it, but yeah, so let's play it all together. It should sound good. All right, so now we got a little nice loop melody. All right, so what we're gonna do now is just use our guitar here just for like a verse area, and this part was pretty much done, but I just want to get an outro beat. So let's go ahead and move on to that. All right, so now we have our guitar here, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna just make this easy. We're gonna copy this whole bottom part, and we can use our same methods here, and we just want a like verse part, like a low point in the beat. So we can, let's delete some of these. We can just keep this fairly consistent. Okay, so this will be like our chords, right? So since it's a guitar, let's pull these up a bit, and I'm gonna solo this. All right, so now we can keep using our little method. So you can do melodies like this, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but would have given more bounce if you did something like this. You see how it has a little bit more bounce to it? I think this is a little extreme, but probably do something like this. And let's just offset these. Matter of fact, let's take this whole thing and just bring it over. And then probably like go down. All right, I think that's good. And now we can copy this over and just add a little variation. Okay, let's see, probably somewhere around here. Let's make a chord upward, and then we can shift these over one so we kind of get some rhythm in there. I think that's all we really need. We don't got to do much. I kind of want to do something like that. All right, I'll probably fix that later, but you get the point. So now we have a low point and our melody is done. I know it took a long time, but I really wanted to explain everything in detail. So now we're just gonna make an outro beat. All right, so I'm gonna just knock out all the drums, and this is just for an outro beat. So we can, it's the wrong one. We can click here, take these bottom notes, paste them in, Shift D, do something like that. Probably need to put this over here, and I'm gonna just run through this. we could run with that. And then snares, make sure to use repeats. Right, and if you use these little loop bars, you can kind of just make these drums easier. Now over here, now I already have these set. Let's do like one of these little patterns here. What you can do, like say if you have your pattern already set, you can right click and go to set to next bar, and it should put it to 64 bar. I pre-did that already, so yeah, so we can just listen to the beat. This is it. And we got a pretty decent beat, but that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.